Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I know in this channel we've only been doing reviews. We had the G1 going on and all the AEW pay-per-views, back to back to back. So we were all filled up with content. But I want to do stuff like video essays and match reviews, but I also want to do fun stuff like this. And this is a TNT Championship Fatal 4-Way Bracket Challenge. It's not going to be a Fatal 4-Way at the end. I mean, it will. We're going to predict that match. We're going to predict the winner of it. This was originally posted by Darby Allin on Twitter, but it was made by, let me make sure I got this right, DrainBamager, a bit of a confusing name, but follow them both, they're very entertaining on Twitter. And I thought, since I see these bracket challenges be done like on places like HiveMind for music, I thought, why not do it for pro wrestling, where we can talk about all the matches, we can predict, how cool it would be, and just kind of look at all the potential matchups we're not getting right now for some reason on TV. So without wasting any time, we're going to go ahead and jump into the left side of this bracket. I didn't even want to show it to you because I don't want to spoil the matchups. But yeah, let's just jump into it. Before we get into Rush versus Wheeler Yuta, I want to tell you guys that we're basing this off like if I were to watch this happen on Dynamite this week. So I'm predicting all these matches like I'm going to go watch them. And I think Rush versus Wheeler Yuta would be an absolute banger match to watch. Wheeler can show all that Blackpool Combat Club fire. Rush can just fucking murder him with a big ass boot, and Wheeler's gonna sell it to perfection because that's just what he does. He's the little punching bag of the BCC. This match would go crazy, but Rush is obviously gonna win. El Toro Blanco, he's gotta advance in this one, and yeah, let's just jump into the next one. Sammy Guevara versus Chris Jericho. This match is actually gonna happen a week from now at Grand Slam, so we can kind of look through it at that lens. You know what I mean? Personally, I would really like to see Sammy Guevara win here in my bracket and also win in real life. He's on the cusp of a really strong face run, and he just hasn't had that in a while, but the fans are kind of getting behind him. I think they were mad at him for the stupidest reasons possible. I just didn't really agree with it. I've always liked Sammy. I've been a Sammy defender maybe at times. I think he's got to get the upset over Chris Jericho. And that's not just in this bracket, that's in real life. But in this bracket, I think it would just be such a cool moment. It'd be like Chris Jericho trying to vie for the TNT title and he just can't. Play off of him being old or something. Like, dude's pushing 50 at this point. It might even be 50. He ain't doing the TNT title. Give Sammy Guevara the win with all that history. Next match, we're going to go Big Bill versus Hangman Adam Page. It's got to be Hangman Adam Page. Big Bill is going to give you a great match. Hangman works so well, and just like these big ass motherfuckers like brawling, and it would be a good one. And as good as it will be, again, Hangman's winning. He's got to advance here. I might have him going a little far. Don't tell anybody, but I might have him going a little far. So yeah, Hangman wins. Brian Cage versus Kip Sabian. You might have Brian Cage win, just like how they're going to do on Dynamite, so you can have that rematch against Hangman. But I actually don't agree. I want to give Kip Sabian the big win here. I think he's been have this swelling of fan support. Every time he's on screen, he's very captivating. He's good in ring. I think this would be a great opportunity for him to show his stuff and give him a big win over a guy like Brian Cage. Brian Cage is not going to win this tournament, so why not? Why not give the guy with the bag on his head, the guy everyone forgot about when he was injured, put him in a match versus Hangman and see what he can do? I think that would be fire. So Kip Sabian gets to win here. Oh, okay. The next two matches are early match of the tournament contenders. Andrade El Idolo versus Darby Allin. This would crush. Could you imagine Andrade just hitting Darby Allin with that fainted, modified Judas effect? He would take his head off. Darby Allin would maybe do 2 flips just to sell it. This would be an absolute heater. Darby never misses, and Andrade can have him just show his stuff here. And you guys are going to like the match I'm going to set up, so Andrade gets to win no matter the Darby Allin TNT history. I think this would be a big moment for him to pin the guy who just loves the TNT Championship. Next matchup, we got Pac versus Malachi Black. It's got to be Malachi Black. This match would be another match of the tournament contender, like I said, because holy shit, these guys would have a banger. But we cannot miss on that Malachi Black and Andrade history from NXT. You gotta make that happen in the round of 32. Wasn't sure which number I was gonna land on. But that match would just be so good with all that history, and I can't miss out on it as much as I like Pac, but this would be another banger. Oh my god, it would be so good. These are the matches we should be getting on TV. These ones right here. Give me Malachi Black to return after 400 days of not having a singles match. which is crazy, by the way. He shouldn't have gone that long unless like his back is really fucked, but I don't know about all that. Let's have the Malachi versus Andrade match right here. Next up, the Battle of the Jays, Jay White versus Jay Lethal. We're not going to talk about this very much because the Switchblade is winning. You could put Cardblade out there and I'd still rather him win over Jay Lethal. Like, I wasn't around. I didn't watch any old Jay Lethal matches. I don't know what that man is, but nowadays he's just But Switchblade is the GOAT. I'm a big Switchblade fan. Have him advance. Now, the final match on the left side of the bracket, we have Wardlow versus AR Fox. This could be a real sleeper match. I mean, AR Fox is incredible, and when you have a big like base like Wardlow to just catch his little flips, that would kill. But like I said, we're doing this as though Dynamite, this is going to start on Dynamite this week, and you can't miss out on that Wardlow return pop. Have him just beat the brakes off of AR Fox en route to a Jay White match, which would be very interesting. We weren't getting any graphic updates as we were talking, but we're going to get the big graphic updates now. Look at those big graphics. I'll be putting in that work. You know how it is. But there's some very interesting matchups to talk about on the left side in the round of 32. 32, that's the number. Especially Andrade versus Malachi, and just how fun these could be. So another example, we should be having these kind of matches on TV, but this is just for fun, so let's go ahead and jump to the right side. Starting with Ethan Page versus Powerhouse Hobbs. This would be another sleeper. I mean, Ethan is very good. He's very good on the mic, of course, but he's also quite good in ring. He had that match versus MJF that I thought was very entertaining, but Powerhouse Hobbs is going to get the win here. You might think that would be a little bit interesting because Ethan Page could use a big win, and Powerhouse is, he's Powerhouse. He's been kind of meandering for a while now, which, maybe that's reason to believe he could deserve this big win, but we're building something here, so just give me 1 second, you'll see. And you know what I'm cooking? I'm cooking up a Keith Lee versus Powerhouse Hobbs match because I think Keith beats Swerve. Swerve isn't built for the TNT title. He's built for the world title. I know this is just for fun, but he's a world title man. You give Keith Lee the win, you have him just go out there and try to prove that he's still got it, and then you put him in a match versus Powerhouse, two big fucking hosses. That's another meat match for Powerhouse Hobbs under his belt. Sign me up for that. Mark Briscoe versus Juice Robinson could quite possibly be the funniest wrestling match of all time. Maybe even before that, you have them do a promo battle like live in the ring. It could be the funniest thing in the world. I love Juice Robinson. I think he's hilarious. I'm a huge fan of Bullet Club Gold. Like I don't know if I've mentioned that too much on this channel so far, but I'm a huge fan of them. But let's give Mark Briscoe the win. We're going to have Mark Briscoe win to set up the next match, Ricky Starks versus Adam Cole. Give me Adam Cole to get the win here. I know that a lot of people might really want Ricky Starks to get the win just because he's, a young guy. He's coming up. He could use this huge win over Adam Cole. But I'm a fucking sucker for history. And you're telling me about the Briscoes and Adam Cole's history, like when that was a thing, and all the ROH matches between Jay and Adam. I'm a sucker for history. Like I said, I gotta see it. So while I do very much enjoy Ricky Starks, and it would mean a lot for him to get this win, I can't even lie to you, I gotta get the history. I gotta get it. You want to talk about history? Claudio versus Eddie Kingston. Dog, Eddie Kingston has got to get the win one of these times. They're going to have that match at Grand Slam similar to Guevara and Jericho, and there as well, I'm going to pick Kingston to get the win. He's got to have the win at some point. He's got to just beat Claudio one time. No matter what, Claudio just seems to have his number every single time. This is a moment where Eddie can just have his number for once, and at Grand Slam, we're just going to do a little bit of a prediction here. Eddie Kingston's going to win both those belts. I got to see it. I've got to see the hometown pop. Give it to me, please, as a huge Eddie Kingston fan. Please. This match would be an absolute banger. It's going to be a banger in real life at Grand Slam. Give me Eddie to upset Claudio. Maybe not even an upset, but I think it might be a little bit of an upset to finally just win him over in a big spot like this. Miro versus Daniel Garcia. Another match that I would love to see on TV because I'm a huge fan of both guys. But I'm an even bigger fan of Daniel Garcia, and I think he should get the win here. And look, I would have said Miro get the win if it was Claudio because I think they'd have a great match, and I think him and Eddie would have a great match too. But I would love to see Eddie versus Garcia. Have Eddie and Garcia work a New Japan style match, have them just chop the shit out of each other, have Garcia work his technical style, just trying to get around Kingston's brawler shit. That just sounds like a fucking hoot. Sounds like a match made in heaven. Sign me up. Give me Daniel Garcia for the big upset. Rey Fenix versus Lance Archer. Kind of similar to the Wardlow AR Fox, but like tripled, even quadrupled. Rey Fenix is going to go crazy here. You're working with a guy in Lance Archer that is the best base for all your high flyer stuff. Rey Fenix is going to give it his all, but give Lance Archer the win here. He doesn't get any big wins. He doesn't give any of these big spots, and I kind of want to see him go on at least a mini run here, just at least to the round of 32, the next one at least. So give me Lance Archer for the win. Another half of the Lucha Brothers, Penta El Cero Miedo versus Konosuke Takeshita. Gotta be Takeshita. I'm not even going to talk about it. This match would be great. I would love to see it, but it's got to be Takeshita in this tournament. All right, the big graphic pulled up here. You can see a lot of these matches. I think this side of the bracket is looking crazy. I think this would be a heater to see all of these on TV. I would love to see any of these any week. Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about these matches, but we're going to jump right back over to the left side right here. All right, the first match in the round of 32 on the left side, Rush versus Sammy Guevara. I don't even know who I'm going to pick here. On the one hand, you would just love to see Rush get the win. You would just love to see it, man. He is so good. I think he would fit great in the TNT spot, but honestly, I might be just a fan. I'm a huge fan of both guys. I don't even know, bro. But okay, I'm going to pick one, and I'm going to pick Sammy Guevara. I think you would have a great story with the TNT Championship history. I think he could show out. He could get those babyface pops. He could do his thing. Fuck, I don't even know. Maybe Rush is the right answer because of who I'm going to pick next, but I don't know. I'm going to go Sammy. Who I'm going to pick next, it's got to be Hangman. Kip, he can show out here. He can have a great match. This is his opportunity to have a great match if this was, real, who's real, blah, blah, blah. But if Kip had this opportunity, he has to show out, but Hangman's getting the win here. And it's kind of why I don't really feel bad about whoever I pick in the Rush versus Sammy match. I know a lot of people pick Rush. I think probably everybody's going to pick Rush, but I'm going with Sammy because I want to see Sammy versus Hangman. Two guys that are AEW originals, day one shit. That just sounds like a cool match. I'm a sucker for history, like I've been saying, I want to see that. So give me Hangman over Kip. Have him face Sammy in the round of 16. All right, match of the tournament. It might just be decided here, potentially. Andrade El Idolo versus Malachi Black. NXT history out the fucking zoo, like I said. This match would be a banger. This is just peak what this tournament could be. This is the kind of match that I'm telling is like, this is what AEW should be doing on the week-to-week basis. But if we got this match, I don't even know who I'd pick. I think this round is going to be one of the hardest to pick. I think after this it does get a teeny little bit easier. Well, no, actually probably not. But yeah, I don't know. I gotta go Malachi here. I'm a huge fan of Malachi. I love his style in the ring. I love when he does, his kick-based offense. I think it just looks so snug, so cool. He would have a banger with Andrade here, but I gotta see him advance. I gotta see Malachi Black have another huge singles match against the guy I'm gonna pick next because damn, would it be good. And the guy I'm going to pick next is Jay White. Dude, Malachi versus Jay White sounds like a match made for me, I think. White versus Wardlow would be such an interesting dynamic. Like, I don't even know how this would work. I haven't really seen, I haven't delved much into Jay White, fully, so I don't know how he works against big men, but this would be a banger. I think Wardlow is sneaky good. He does cool shit. That's all you really gotta do as a big man. Just do cool shit. And Jay White is just the best. So while Wardlow is very cool and he has all that history with the TNT Championship, we've already got one guy in Sammy that's advancing off history alone. So give me Jay White here. All right, the big graphics are back again. Sammy versus Hangman and Malachi versus Jay White in the round of 16. One of those matches, I think both of them would be very good, but one of those stands out among the two. We'll get to it when we get to it. Let's jump over to the right side. All right, I talked about it in the first little bit. I talked about it in the round of 64. Hobbs versus Keith Lee, the big men slapping meat match. This match would cook. I need the crowd to be active for this. I need to have the crowd be chanting meat on every strike. I need shit like that, dog. But this match would be legendary. This would be maybe one of the better meat men matches, as long as Keith kind of steps up to the plate and Hobbs does the same like he did in the match with Miro. This is another one that's just very hard to pick. It's very hard to pick at first, actually, because when you kind of sit and look at it, you see who's in that next little matchup here. You see where I'm going. Give me Keith Lee here. The Sussex County Chicken would go crazy against Adam Cole. He would be just going off. Adam Cole would give him the craziest Panama Sunrise ever. I would be hyped to see that. But you just can't ignore that Keith Lee rematch, man. They have all their history in NXT. You gotta live up to that huge fucking where he trucked him and threw him into the crowd. That's one of the coolest moments in wrestling history, in my opinion, just as a newer fan. I fucking eat that clip up. Give me Keith versus Cole. That would be a banger. Similar to the Andrade versus Malachi match, there's just too much history to play off of where I wouldn't want to see that match. I'd be super excited. Sign me up for Adam Cole versus Keith Lee in the round of 16. Eddie Kingston versus Daniel Garcia would be a banger. I would be so excited to see that match. I'm a huge fan of both guys. They're both the best. I mean, how hard would Eddie chop Garcia when he starts doing his little fucking dance? I would absolutely need Eddie to pull out a G1 style match for this one. They would go crazy. They would kill it. But it's got to be Eddie Kingston. I'm a huge fan of both guys. I love them both, like I've been telling you guys. But Eddie Kingston versus the guy I'm going to pick next just sounds like such a random, weird match. I'm kind of spoiling who I'm going to pick next. I got to stop doing that. We're not going to do that for the next few rounds. But yeah, it just sounds like it's such an out-of-nowhere match that I'm ready for it. Give me Eddie Kingston to advance here. Okay, I did spoil it in the last match. I'm sure that I did. Konosuke Takeshita advances over Lance Archer. What an interesting little dynamic this is. It kind of feels like Jay White versus Wardlow. Just one of those weird, like, big man matches that I just kind of wouldn't see happening that often in AEW, but one that I would really want to see. You know Lance Archer loves to do Japanese-style wrestling. Konosuke is straight out of Japan, so have them work one of those matches. Have these two matches be Japan-style matches. That just sounds like a fucking hoot. TV-style Japan matches mixed together. Sign me up. We're going to look to the side here. Keith versus Cole, Eddie versus Konosuke. Dude, these matches are crazy good. Why are we not doing this on TV? Why are we not doing this on TV? We're talking about that at the end of this video. I can't contain it anymore. And just like that, we've jumped back over to the left side for the round of 16 matches. We're going to start off with Sammy versus Hangman. What a cool match this would be. I think even though these guys are both day one, Sammy has all that history with the TNT Championship. Maybe they do this fatal four-way in a ladder match, and if it was a ladder match, sure, have Sammy be in it. But gotta be Hangman. He's the bigger name here. He's got so much history with the guys I'm gonna pick to fill out this fatal four-way, so fuck it. Give me Hangman Adam Page. The next match, Malachi Black versus Jay White. This is a match I absolutely need to see in real life. I need this ASAP. Like I said, this match was made for me. These two styles would be just so good. There would be like Malachi, you know, he's so quiet in the ring. He never speaks at all. And Jay White could just turn on his little fucking douchebag asshole heel where he's just taunting Malachi the whole time, who keeps trying to kick his head off or something. And oh, it would be so heat. I would just love to see Jay White shit talking versus Malachi in the ring. You know, Malachi is not the one to talk very often, and Jay White could just turn on his asshole heelish mode and just start taunting him the whole match with Malachi just trying to kick his head off the whole way through. But give me Jay White to win here because Jay White feels ready-made for a title right now. I think every person I'm going to put in this Final Four, you could easily see winning. But Jay White is the kind of guy who, like, could use this title as a big stepping block to hit that next level. So give me Jay White. Keith Lee versus Adam Cole to start our right side matches. I think it's got to be Cole here. I think you're putting these huge stars in the match. You are just setting up for an insane fatal four-way. And while I love Keith Lee, I think it would be great to have a big man in the match. You got to put Adam Cole here. He has history with the two guys I've already picked in Jay White and in Hangman, for sure Hangman, and I think that's just setting up for such a cool fatal four-way, and we're just jumping in Cole here. Eddie versus Konosuke Takeshita. This would be one of those matches that would just be like so sneaky good that you couldn't help like kind of penciling it in for top 5 matches of the tournament. When Eddie was working with guys that nobody's like Takeshita, but kind of had similar styles to Takeshita in the G1, he was killing it. He would have an insanely good match with this guy. And this would build up, you know, any future feuds with the two. You know, Eddie's not going to be around for as long as Konosuke is going to be around for, you know, looking long term. But what a cool match to have under your belt if you're either guy. But I'm a huge Eddie mark. I gotta pick Eddie. Again, maybe this is a similar scenario to someone like Swerve, where Konosuke is just built for bigger things, I think, at the moment. He's built for AEW World Championships. You pinned Kenny Omega twice, and there's no shame in losing to Eddie Kingston. All right, we got our final four. Actually, looking at this is similar to that Forbidden Door matchup that we had with that final four. Hopefully Cole doesn't get his fucking brain scattered like crazy, but yeah, the 3/4 of that Forbidden Door match, running it back with Eddie in place of Okada, I think it was. Shit, man. I think you can make cases for all four guys winning the TNT Championship in this scenario. Hangman with his first mid-card singles belt? Shit, that sounds good. I wouldn't mind Hangman just jumping out on TV, having one-on-one matches all the time, kind of being that ace, like putting himself back in that ace conversation. You know, Moxley has kind of solidified himself as that role, but Hangman with the TNT title could go right back into it. Adam Cole on the other side, he couldn't win the AEW World Championship. He's kind of sunk down lesser then, and maybe it kind of leads to him on the rise to another AEW World Championship match that he finally wins, because he's lost a good number of them now. But Adam Cole with a mid-card belt would be similar to that NXT run with the North American title, and we know how that was. Like, sign me up for that too. Jay White feels like he's destined for that AEW World Championship belt, and what better way to solidify him than for him to have a TNT title run that just transcends any of the other ones in the past. It's kind of just been whatever, but I think a guy like Jay White having singles matches every week with incredible talent, like, that would be a banger. I would be perfectly fine with this being a stepping stone for him to go up to higher places. Like, sure. And then finally you have Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston is just that guy. I would kind of be a little bit shaken to see him win his first like official AEW title as the TNT title. I don't know if I'd want that. I kind of maybe want him to win the World Championship as his first AEW title. But I still wouldn't mind him winning this belt. Eddie is the perfect TV wrestler. He gets every crowd behind him. He gets every person at home connected with him. As I said in the G1 review, if you guys check that out, you know, if you haven't checked that out, go ahead and check that out. But in my like big roundup, I kind of said Eddie was just the guy who connects with the fans the easiest. Every time he was in Japan, he would connect with those fans. They would instantly love him and they would support him. I think if you had a TNT Championship run, he would have an even bigger fan support. And similar to the Jay White situation, if he were to win, maybe he could use it as a stepping stone to the AEW World Championship. And since we've talked about all four guys, we're going to wrap this up right here. We're going to pick my winner. I think this would be a fantastic fatal four-way match, but I think the winner's got to be Jay White. Look at me over here, big editor Novi out here editing the TNT Gold. He looks pretty good with that TNT Championship, I can't lie. Have this be a stepping stone to AEW World Championship Gold. Let Jay White do this thing. I think it would be awesome. I'm perfectly down for it. Jay White wins this entire thing over Adam Cole, Eddie Kingston, and Hangman Adam Page. Fuck yeah. Before we wrap this video up, I kind of want to talk about a subject that this bracket really pushes into your mind. I want to talk about why AEW doesn't do any of these matches. Why are they so afraid of having top guys lose? Like, you're looking at some of these matches like Keith versus Cole, Konosuke versus Eddie, Jay White versus Malachi Black, like, just to name a couple of the matches that I can even see on the screen. Like, that's not even counting like Malachi versus Andrade and stuff like that. Why are we not doing this? And on one hand, I understand you don't want your top guys losing, but somebody's got to lose, and that's okay, because what really makes compelling TV, what really makes people want to tune in, is watching these cool-ass matches happen. So, just to kind of finalize this video, AEW needs to let more of these happen. TK needs to stop being so conservative. He needs to stop being afraid to have these big guys lose and just put them in these huge matches. Like, just use Hangman versus Swerve as an example. That was a huge ratings boost, and look what it, like, come on, we could have 14 of those right here. We got to have more of these singles matches. I think this bracket goes to show. But this was a fun time, and I hope you guys had fun watching. Let me know what you guys would predict as your final four down in the comments below. Maybe you don't agree with one of my decisions. Maybe you specifically don't agree with me putting Sammy Guevara over Roosh. I kind of don't want to remind you because you're going to comment about it and tell me how stupid I am. But, you know, that's the name of the game. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below. Comment if you want to see, any more of these videos as well. I'm asking you to comment multiple things. That's a little much. I'm pushing a little bit, but comment down below if you want to see more of these kind of videos. The next video we're going to do is we're going to predict all the future AEW World Champions. We're just kind of taking some time to get in the, figure that all out. And maybe Jay White is the guy I'm going to predict to be the next TNT champion after Luchasaurus, but we're just going to have to find out. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. Again, leave a like on this video, and much love, y'all. Peace.